Hello, welcome to Satsang in the Garden, number 6. Thank you for sitting with me, being with me here in our garden. It's been a short minute since the last recording. Many of you wrote to me and said you've been watching number 5, which is the longer video recording. You've been watching that over and over again, and you say you're right here with me. So I'm happy to hear that, and I'm happy to hear that you're enjoying the longer recordings. So we'll see what happens with this one. Now, as always, we are here doing nothing in our thinking mind, because at this moment it's not needed. If it was needed, we would be using it. But we would be using it from here, from presence. We wouldn't be leaving here to go off somewhere else and then return. This is our home here in the now. So just fully, plainly here as yourself. So your formless self, the unmoving. Just aware of the breath. Perhaps just more accurately of being breathed. So a natural movement, a natural flow of breath that just moves into the body. The body expands slightly just to receive it. And then the breath naturally moves out of the body, and the body contracts a little. And then there's this lovely gap. Nothing. And then a miracle, another in-breath. So being in the garden, which is a live being, there are sounds, the sound of the wind that's blowing through the leaves. Perhaps one of my all-time favorite sounds on this beautiful planet. So we're also living in an area of construction. So there's some construction sounds in the background and some radio sounds that the construction workers are playing. So these are in the background. Perhaps you can hear an airplane. So let them just be. We don't need to try and stop them or change them. Let everything that's here. And there's some little beings flying around. Some bird sounds. Just let them be. So enjoy your fullness of being, fully here, fully conscious, fully present here. So it's nothing you do. The presence is what you are. We are all this vast, one conscious presence. So nothing to do. There's no formula, no recipe, no technique. We could say shifting out of thinking mode, shifting our consciousness, so consciously stepping out of mind, out of thought, step into the body through feeling. So we're here in nature. Wherever you are sitting, you're welcome to join me here in our back garden. through the sights and the sounds and the felt sense. Effortless being. So this doesn't require hard work or sweat. And it certainly doesn't require a thought. You just here. Your natural self, your essential self, conscious of itself, conscious of being, not being something or someone, just being. It's like these beautiful tree beings. Just being. So I always enjoy just sitting quietly in silence before I begin a meeting. Thank you for being here, truly being here. Be here outside of time. You've stepped into this glorious now, timeless. So be here without a past. And without a future. Feel the great liberation in that. So you're not thinking about your past or fretting or reliving it. And you're not anxious or worried or fearful, or stressed out about the future. Just fully here. For many of you, you've already had the direct experience and the wisdom that is gained from direct experience of living outside of time. So you can easily catch thoughts of the future and make a conscious choice. Just here, come here. Through the body, feel the rootedness through your feet. Feel these deep roots of being. Just as a way of anchoring here through a felt sense, just like feeling this lovely movement of breath. Feel this great blessing of just being here. Perhaps you are aware of a natural arising of gratitude, or this natural arising of joy, uncaused, no reason, just for simply sitting here, or standing or lying, fully here. So becoming attuned, we could say, to the entire universe, but on a very deep space. So leaving the shallow surface level, just leave that alone and enter here, enter this vertical realm. the horizontal realm of time and form. So things, the things that come and go, birth and death, and entering vertical realm, timeless, formless, eternal, the unmoving. Aware of the sounds without labeling them. Aware of the movements without labeling them. And just leaving them, letting them be. And anchored here, you could say with the stillness, as the stillness, as the unmoving that can witness movement. Now it's possible in the previous 5 video recordings that many of these things that are being spoken now were spoken then. I haven't listened to them, so I don't know. So this is an unscripted meeting. That's what Satsang is. Unscripted. So you can live this way, unscripted, even within a schedule, even with many appointments on your calendar. You can live unscripted here in the now. You can live without time. And once you have a direct taste of this, you know it. Right at this moment, our friend Lao Tzu is coming to me. Let's see if what he wrote and spoke is here in its totality. So this will just be a little bit, it may not be exact. So on the road or on the path to knowledge, many things are acquired. On the path to wisdom, many things are discarded. There's another line that's not coming to me yet. So the very last line is until things arrange themselves. Could be something about, no, it's not here. Until things arrange themselves. So in the editing, I'll either post the line, I'll write it. I'll put a link to my blog space where it is also written. So what really touched me with that is the surrender. Surrender to this, whatever you'd like to call this, and not even having to call it anything, the unnameable, the unmeasurable, the eternal, the one, the divine, the formless. So this complete and absolute surrender, a releasing, a conscious discarding until things arrange themselves. So this sense of being so in attune, so aligned, so rooted and yet flexible. This great strength of rooted in being, stable, strong, unwavering, an unwavering presence. That's also very, we could say bendy or very pliable. Until things arrange themselves. So there's no longer anyone doing life, anyone forcing, pushing, struggling, fearing, worrying. So truly a resting in this great presence, resting in wisdom. Just here. Notice if any wandering away happens and come back. Come back more rootedly. More surrenderedly, if that's a word. Just truly enjoying this moment, truly savoring this moment. So here is a space where there's nothing to do. So as you listen, as you watch, please do nothing. Give this your complete, absolute attention, complete, undivided attention, not divided by thinking about things or even thinking about what you hear. Be here neutrally, without an opinion, without a preference, without a judgment. This video isn't perfect. I'm not a professional filmmaker. So enjoy the imperfections. So at this moment, allow things to arrange themselves. Allow this movement of the universe to arrange itself. And arrange itself within you. So our mind can't grasp this. It's much too big for our thinking mind. That's why it's so beautiful. That's why the great mystery is so beautiful. It cannot be known with thought. So I'm aware that there's one hand here, and within the other hand, there's a little book being held. Oh, and there's hummies just flying right next to the feeder over here. So to my left, which will be to your right, one of our visiting hummingbirds of the moment. Just out of my peripheral vision, I can feel this, can see and feel this movement. And without my glasses, it's not clear. Perhaps you can hear. We're about 3 feet away. Another miraculous being in the garden. So back to my left hand, so holding a little book, the Tao Te Ching by Stephen Mitchell. So it's come very close recently, and being carried around and coming to meetings. And I happened to open the back, and I've spoken in several of the meetings recently. So I opened it into the back part of the notes, which I haven't looked at in full, and I was very delighted. So this is a note for chapter 51, and some of you now have heard it, and you may have known it from previous. So I had also heard this wisdom, and there's a bit of a backstory. I've got a little being crawling on my foot, that's why I'm looking there. So you'll hear more. So this is a wonderful Japanese story, which is speaking about honoring the Tao, which really means, as Stephen Mitchell's writing, respecting the way things are. So this is a note. 150 years ago, there lived a woman named Sono, whose devotion and purity of heart were respected far and wide. One day, a fellow Buddhist, having made a long trip to see her, asked, "What can I do to put my heart at rest?" She said, "Every morning, and every evening. And whenever anything happens to you, keep on saying, "Thanks for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever." The man did as he was instructed for a whole year. "Thanks for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever." But his heart was still not at peace. He returned to Sono crestfallen. "I've said your prayer over and over, and yet nothing in my life has changed. I'm still the same selfish person as before. What should I do now?" Sono immediately said, "Thanks for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever." On hearing these words, the man was able to open his spiritual eye and returned home with a great joy. This truly is a profound spiritual practice, spiritual wisdom. So simple and so effective. To the thinking mind, it seems too simple. Or to the false or fictitious self, it seems, what good will this do? What does this do? So this is something to be lived, played with, and notice the results. So what happens when every morning, every evening, and whenever anything happens? So this is offered. Thanks for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. So we could say, yes, this is truly a conscious surrendering, coming into alignment with what is, honoring the Tao, honoring this moment, honoring the universe, honoring God. Thanks for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. Now you can watch inside if something within you argues or disagrees or has a strong opinion. So offer thanks for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. So perhaps if you're hearing this for the first time, you would like to, or you'd be willing. I've invited everyone in the meetings thus far, in the regular Wednesday evening meeting and in the women's satsang, if you choose to practice this for a year, so until next early summer. And see what happens. So he came to her, how can I put my heart at rest? So how can my heart be at peace? How can I live in peace? So no complaint. Doesn't matter what it is. And of course, everything that is tailor-made for you, perhaps all the things of the past that have been complained about or pushed away in some way or fought, argued with, they will come. So they will come for liberation from you. So in honoring what is, no complaint, that allowing what arises. So it's also with great gratitude, a gratitude practice. Someone somewhere wrote, "A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles." So these wisdoms are profoundly beautiful. They're even more beautiful when we know them to be true, but we know them from direct experience. Gratitude for everything that comes. So pay attention to any inner complaining and know that it isn't you. This is part of the eroding of the false or the fictitious self, the egoic self, to catch the complaints. And it could be things from your current outer world, your current, your situation that's close to you, or it could be further afield, more worldly events, things that you read about in the news or hear about. Political leaders, thanks for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. It can also be things that arise within you, your responses to situations that are happening, to people, places. And yes, it's a vigilance, and it is also alive, an alive being. So I invite you, if you feel drawn, if you're called in your heart, if your heart is called for more peace, more rest, join us. Don't be concerned about perfection. So begin to build a resonance. It's like exercising your consciousness muscle, if there is one, strengthening it. And observe the changes, observe what happens, witness. So witness the miracles. So ultimately what's happening is this is an inner yes to what is. I've got somebody here. Thanks for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. Allow this to be the golden thread that you weave for the next year. You are here. You are hearing the Beatles. We are here and we are all together. Something like that. We are all together. Thank you.